Hello, and welcome back to the 80s version of the Twilight Zone. And this week we're watching Take My Life, Please, The Devil's Alphabet, and The Library. So we start off with Take My Life, Please, which is about purgatory and, well, hell, I suppose. You can't dial PIP. You can only dial 666 for room service. So the comedy in this is extremely cruel, of course. He regales the audience with the worst moments of his life, and they are eating it up. And it reminds me of the comedy that was in To See the Invisible Man, where he sat in a club and they were talking about like spousal abuse and stuff, and people were howling with laughter. And it has the same sort of vibe here. It's very disturbing. And the room fills up as he talks. It starts with just a single person in the audience. And then as he starts performing, more and more people are there. They don't actually show up. You don't get to see them walk in or anything. But there's more and more people. It's a bit unsettling. It's a icky episode. There is a better Afterlife one that we're going to get to. I think it's in season 2. Then we get to The Devil's Alphabet, and here is an alumni of Sci-Fi People. So, I mean, Ben Cross, very distinctive actor. He played Sarek in the 2009 Star Trek, along in this episode with Ethan Phillips, who plays Neelix in Star Trek Voyager, and Wayne Alexander, who plays Lorien in Babylon 5, and also the Drak, I think. Exceedingly cool sort of cast of people here. And there's some other really fine folks here too. Oh, Ben Cross was in Chariots of Fire too, where he played an athlete. Anyway, the specters, especially the first one, I really enjoyed. It's in the background, you can see through it, and then it's in the foreground, so you can see sort of halfway through it to get the person. And since you don't know exactly where it is, since it is a two-dimensional object they've inserted into the shot, it's very difficult to gauge the size, which I liked, because it looks in some shots like it's a huge apparition. I'm guessing it's human size, but because we don't know the perspective, it looks kind of, yeah, it's a very nice shot. I like it. It has the weird end shot of freeze to blur, like so. It's an odd choice. I can't say I applaud it. And finally we get to The Library, which has the collective works of everyone in it. And they talk about how this room cannot fit in this house. Now, Terry Pratchett, the British author, he talks about L space, which is library space, which is the space that all libraries share, sort of TARDIS-like quality. I think he would have approved of how this would fit in the house. Laurie Petty is in this episode, and she's the one that keeps changing rather than the main protagonist. She was in Tank Girl, of course, and we've also seen her in Orange is the New Black, but I just associate her with Tank Girl immediately. And this talks about how a single line will like alter stuff. And I was wondering at the first instance of change, where she just does a little bit of whiteout and then writes something and changes this guy to a priest. Like, wouldn't that facilitate her changing everything else in the book after that point? Or does it rewrite itself? Like, the rules aren't quite clear here. She just does this minor alteration and it spirals in her book. And she does it a few more times, and it just has these horrible effects. I'm thinking that if you're careful, you could probably do a one-line change that wouldn't be that bad. Now, I think about stuff like this a bit too much because I'm a sci-fi nerd, and I think about parallel universes and wishes and magic and stuff. But like I said, I think that there is a way to like put a 0 after a number, for instance, or put 2 miles instead of 1 somewhere. That wouldn't significantly alter the rest of your life or the life of anyone else, but would give you a substantial benefit. You just have to figure out how it's supposed to work. You have to think it through. I think she's a bit impulsive. This episode ends to fade. It's a blur and then fade like that. It's a weird choice. I'm not sure what they're thinking here when they made these edits. Next we get to Shadow Play, which of course we've seen before, but now we get to see the 80s version, and Grace Note. And we are hurtling towards the end of the first season. And I look forward to seeing them. Take care now.